Hi everybody, welcome to Line of the Week number 129, Motif Development Using Melodic Rhythms. In this week's line, I've been focusing on melodic development, trying to incorporate plenty of space, rests into the line, and also resolving tension at the point of chord change where appropriate. This week's line is based on a B-flat blues. Let's look at the chord progression and the accompanying chord scale so we're all on the same page. The chords are B-flat 7 to E-flat 7 to B-flat 7 for 2 measures to E-flat 7 for 2 measures, back to B-flat 7 for 2 measures, to F7 to E-flat 7 to B-flat 7 to F7. Here are the chord scales I use. I use the notes from the chord scales for two things. First, as a source of notes for improvising, and secondly, to determine tensions to use for comping. The chord scales are F melodic minor to B flat melodic minor to F melodic minor for 2 measures, to B flat melodic minor for 2 measures, to F melodic minor for 2 measures, to G flat melodic minor, and then to B flat melodic minor, then to F melodic minor, then to G flat melodic minor. Here's some melodic rhythm I'm using this week. This motif is from Jerry Bergonzi's book, Volume 4, Melodic Rhythms Used with Permission. Here's the line of the week with Guitar Pro backing track I use to make sure I'm getting the notes and the rhythm accurate. Let me say a few things about the line of the week. There are different ways you can analyze the way in which the motif is developed, but this is one way to describe it. In measure 1, you've got the original motif. In measure 2, you've got variation of the original motif, meaning the same rhythm, different notes. In measure 3, you've got another variation. In measure 4, you've got a rest. In measure 5, another variation. In measure 6, you've got a fragmentation of the original motif. In measure 7, you've got another fragmentation of the original motif, which just means a part of the original motif, a recognizable part of the original motif. In measure 8, you've got another rest. Plenty of space is good. In measure 9, you've got another variation. In measure 10, you've got an extension, which is just new material added on to the original motif. In measure 11, you've got another example of extension. And then the extension goes into measure 12 and ends with fragmentation, again meaning the first 2 notes of the original motif. Also, note the points of resolution of tension by half step. At the point of chord change, it's important to resolve non-harmonic tones, meaning avoid notes or disagreeable notes, by half step to an agreeable note. You can resolve the tension either directly, meaning immediately, or indirectly, meaning within a beat and a half. In measures 1 through 2, you've got the E going to the F. E is non-harmonic to the E-flat 7 chord. It is the last half beat of measure 1 going into the next measure. Our pitch memory is such that the ear would prefer a half-step resolution into the next chord sound instead of a leap. It sounds smoother, more melodic. In measure 4 to 5, same as with measure 1 to 2, the E should resolve by half step either up or down because it's non-harmonic to the E flat 7 chord coming up. In measures 11 to 12, you've got G to A flat. G is not chord sound to the F7 altered sound that I'm trying to get. So it resolves into A flat, which is the sharp 9, and it resolves by half step into A flat. Also, here are the triads that occur in this line, also circled in red. The triads occur as a result of my particular vocabulary, which are scale shapes. They're kind of a hybrid between arpeggios and scalar motion, available at my website. Anyhow, in measure 2, you've got a B flat minor triad. In measure 5, you've got a B flat minor triad. In measure 6, you've got an E flat major triad. In measures 8 to 9, you've got a D flat major triad. In measure 9 to 10, you've got an E flat major triad. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week.